Hello, this is Christy. And I'm still sick. You're following my journey through weight loss and other routines, even though I have ADHD and several other reasons to not do quite well at what I'm trying. So, day 3, I'm still sick. You can kind of tell I'm feeling a little bit better. I was able to take a couple short walks yesterday and it improved as the day went on. So I know all of my stuff is working. That is one quick test to let you know how you're doing. You think you're doing so well in your house with your humidifier and your tea and everything's all going groovy. Oh, try to take your silly self out for a little walk. So that's one test. We got another test to see how the lungs are doing. The humidifier ran out last night and I woke up coughing, had to make myself tea. So it's not as bad as it was last night. We're definitely cutting through that lung infection to the point where I'm sure that I'm going to be able to kick this next couple days. Won't have to go, get antibiotics or anything. So another test that I do is even after my lungs, I feel like it's all cleared up and everything's fine. Do this one. Breathe all the way out and hold it for 10 seconds. You go like this. We're still got some work to do. Oh boy, a little early for that one. So, here we are. Now, yesterday, I was starting off kind of on a liquid diet, but as the morning went on, it just kind of got kind of annoying. Plus, I needed something to help bulk up my stomach for the garlic, the raw garlic that I'm ingesting. Excuse me. So I sound really bad, but that's just because I just did a lung test. I had some English muffins and some butter. I turned a bunch of bone broth into lentil soup with lots of garlic, lots of onion blended into it. And I've just been kind of having that because it's helping let my body tolerate the amount of garlic, the raw garlic that I'm putting into it to fight this infection. The oregano doesn't really hit it too much. I do turmeric and stuff too. I didn't even get the pineapple juice, but everything else, spiciness, lots of tea, lots of fluids, and this is, technically doing better. I imagine I'm going to be done with this within the next couple days. I can usually get rid of a simple infection, allergy-based, little lung infection that sometimes happens seasonally, especially with smokers. It's definitely one of your early red flags that you have, letting you know, hey, you don't quit this. This is going to get worse. It's going to turn into COPD. This can turn into lung cancer. These are your signs. If you haven't been smart enough to just not smoke at all, here's your sign. Now, did I lose weight? Absolutely not. Did you hear any fiber in there? There was lentils, but I'll be honest, with all the fluids, all the sodium, and all just the raw carbs without any kind of fiber that they could to push it out in the morning. No, I gained a couple pounds. And you know what? That's probably going to fall right off too. One of my general rules of losing weight is if I'm going to weigh myself, I weigh myself under the same conditions. And so my favorite way is in the morning after I've gone to the restroom, and I mean fully, and before breakfast, right? Because I feel like that's the only way to consistently, as closely as possible, kind of catch that same baseline every single time. And that works really well for me. If I weigh myself at a different time of day, especially when I'm losing weight, because your cells, the fat cells, are just so ready to rehydrate, and just everything is just so ready to bloat. You weigh yourself in the morning, you might weigh 150. You weigh yourself in the afternoon, you might weigh 155, 156. So if you're comparing a morning weight to an afternoon weight, you're going to think you're doing horribly. If you're comparing afternoon weight to a morning weight, you're going to think you're a genius. Somehow you figured something out. The point is to maintain some consistency in that in order to track. Now, I'm not saying avoid doctors. I certainly know that I've had people who have gone without treating a lung infection correctly. They actually tried this method, but because they weren't, for one, they didn't quit smoking in order to start the method. For two, It wasn't improving, and they weren't willing to give up the good fight and just go get the antibiotics. I'm willing to do that. Okay. That's a big caveat. I've seen people die from stubbornness about going to get help. So although I'm giving you tips to try to avoid having to go get antibiotics, for one, this has to be a minor issue. It has to be improving, and I mean within 12 hours of treatment, or you need to go seek professional medical attention immediately. It can be deadly. I'm a former EMT. I've seen it many, many, many times where, a simple lung infection, bronchitis, turns into pneumonia, turns into something that can't be treated by the hospital, something that actually turns terminal, and it can be so prevented. I've even seen people who were on the verge of needing a hearse, and they finally caved and took the antibiotics, and it bought that man another 2 years before he accidentally did the same thing again. So I'm not trying to exhibit like what you absolutely should do. I am being a little bit stubborn, but I am following very, very, very specific protocol in order to keep myself home. If I did not know, and if the protocol wasn't working, I would be going in. I'm still not out of the woods. If this doesn't continue working, I'm going in. This is very serious. So I'll stop talking about that. So the weight hasn't gone down, but I am getting a little bit better. Plus, that lentil soup that I finally made is going to have some nice fiber in it. And so I'm not going to have as many just like regular carbs. I'm going to make sure that I'm having the lentil soup, not just all these complex carbs and like fatty foods on top of it. And on top of that, I haven't had a movement at all today. So I imagine all of that plus the water weight and everything. As soon as I'm back on track, I'm probably going to see the weight just kind of zoom down again, and it's going to be like shocking, like my head's going to spin, because the truth is I'm still staying on task. I'm still staying active. Sometimes the numbers are great, and sometimes the numbers can drive you crazy and lie to you. And the last thing you need is to believe a lie when you're already not feeling very well. So that's my update. There's not really much to say about the diet because I'm just focusing on getting well. And I just want this to be like a reminder that when you're on your journey, when you're practicing things, when you're trying to get things done, we all have speed bumps, and it's okay. We're going to be getting back up on that horse again just as soon as possible. There are bigger things at play here and more important matters to then just how skinny we can get, how fast we can get. I'm not here to prove results. I'm here to test them. So we're going to do it naturally, not in any kind of forced way on top of that. So I'll probably catch you tomorrow with another update. And in the meantime, I just hope you're treating yourself very well. Cheers. Have a great night.